for a moment. Exactly in theory that the paper was distributed, that the solved question papers were made available at about 10:15, and between 9:20 and 10:15 these 7 chaps solved all the questions and gave to the school. Assume that we for a moment we may not entirely accept that. We have to hear the other side. Even so, is the league systemic or is it only confined to Hazaribagh and Patna? That you'll have to establish something on the basis of data.
Yes, Lord.
Show us now what the data tells you.
But before I come to data,
up to now, we are only focused on Hazaribagh and Patna, right? Whether the leak takes place in the morning of the 5th, as CBI is telling us, whether it took place in the morning or the night of the 4th, therefore the leak took place before lodging in the vault. How widespread is it? We don't have any other material apart from this that you have chosen to indicate that the leak was so widespread that it has gone all over the country. Now show us the data which will
allow me just 4-5 minutes before I come to the data. Because between the last date and today, we have got a lot of information that how actually this exam is being conducted by this NTA. Very briefly, because...
One second. Assuming that the examination should be conducted in a much better way.
I'm not on that, Lord.
You will see what they are doing for the future.
I will show why a particular data is as such. Just give me 2-3 minutes before that. Lord, NDA, Lord, on the first date, this Honorable Court put it to them. Give us the complete chart that where the printing happened, how much time printing, how much time it reached the center, then where deposited, what time it was taken out, taken to the center, how much time is the examination.
As we find out now, printing takes place, the CBI third report tells us where printing takes place.
At 2 places, different states, and they are never declared or tendered.
We don't want to mention that because because obviously that will...
we don't also tender. Because otherwise the highest tenderer becomes open. That he is the printer. Whoever is the highest tenderer becomes the printer.
From CBI's third report, we find out the name of one place where the printing press was situated, where it says 28th, it had left that printing.
If your lordships, I'll take your lordship through the journey of the papers from the printing press till the school, and what are the checks and balances on real-time basis, that there is some tempering, it would be noticed somewhere. That I'll be able to show.
Let me very briefly capture that. 24th of April, they say that the dispatch happens to different centers. So far as Hazaribagh is concerned, 28th of April. Everywhere, the question paper was to reach the respective banks on 3rd of May. And 5th of May is the examination. So the question paper remained in private hands for fairly long time. From 24th of April till 3rd of May. I leave it there, Lord. They say that from everywhere, the center in charge will go to the bank in the morning. Lord, I'm showing the mechanism and how brittle and fragile the mechanism is, that the entire mechanism which they have followed.
Wait, just give us the facts.
Yes. Now, in the morning, they say 8:15, the center in charge of the examination will reach the bank to collect the paper. What has actually happened, which is the documents on record, taking example of Dayal School, Bahadurgarh Jhajjar, Hardayal School, Bahadurgarh Jhajjar, the principal of the center goes to both the banks, collect papers from both the banks, distributes the paper taken from Canara Bank. Paper taken from Canara Bank is allowed to be attempted for all 3 hours and 20 minutes. And then they say that we over and above, because on 4th of April, they did not declare any other key except the key for SBI bank question paper. When it appeared that from this Hardayal School Jhajjar, there are 6 candidates who get number 1, 100% marks, 720 out of 720. 2 candidates get 719 and 718. So it came out that how come from this center 8 people comes within first 69 and this number is not possible. NTA came out with a theory that no, we have given a grace marks because there is a delay. I have seen the video of the principal of this Hardayal school which says, and it is openable even now, which says that there was no delay in this center. In fact, we distributed Canara Bank paper when it was already half an hour.
The correct set was to be the SBI paper.
Correct. That's right. That's right.
Everywhere.
And they declared entire country.
It's not every
Entire country, blood.
entire country was SBA. Yes, Your Lordship, sir.
Of course, different configuration, as Mishra said, because the questions will be jumbled up.
Even in the one classroom,
Yeah. Obviously.
in one classroom also,
Sitting next to each other can't know which is the order of the
which is the
question.
order. One of the thing which is going on in the social media is that two numbers sitting with each other, both got 600 marks. How is it possible? But both would have, the system is that both sitting in front and back and both sitting on the sides, they have different numbers.
Not in the same order of questions.
They don't have. My question number 1 would be his question number
Do
18.
that in the judicial.
So we can't even do that. Orthodox way of cheating also is not
Let me place
possible.
the hard facts, blood, how they have done it. So Hardayal school, admittedly, they distributed Canara Bank. The Canara Bank question paper was attempted by all the about 500 people in the center.
How long?
For till 5:20 is the last time. There's no delay. The principal is on record of the school and they say,
So it's not that in the middle of the exam they substitute
no,
the SBI.
Look, that happened Savai Madhopur. I'll come to that. Hardayal school, Canara Bank paper was given. In the first instance, when Canara Bank paper was not to be the paper to be attempted, how come it was even given to them? What is the SOP? How meticulously they followed it, what they say is. And the principal got question paper from both the banks, and both banks gave it.
Mr. Solicitor, just since a little bit of query on the procedural. One set is lodged with Can Bank, one is with SBI. Now, the center in charge on the morning of the exam goes to both the banks and takes the question. Then what
The
happens?
city in charge is informed
Right.
that this is the bank from where you will have to collect the
When
papers
she inform the day of the exam.
in the morning at 7
So
o'clock.
the city in charge will inform all the centers in charge in the morning that you have to go to this particular
This
branch.
particular center.
Now, how did this chap at Jhajjar go and collect it from Canara Bank when he had to? He must have been told that you have to go to the SBI to collect the paper.
No, that may be a mistake or something. Or deliberate. But paper was
Now, Jhajjar, we just wanted to some clarity on Jhajjar. So he collects the paper from the Canara Bank.
correct, my lord.
Students write throughout the 3 hours and 20 minutes. They write the Canara Bank sets of questions, right? Now, thereafter, what happens in Jhajjar? Everybody is given grace mark. What happens in Jhajjar?
But what they say is, because they never disclose P for Canara Bank paper.
1 second, let's have clarity. We just ask questions.
Yeah, my lord, my learned friend can.
Let's
Just 1 second, 1 second. He has his instructions. Let's get the official word first. For Jhajjar,
Yes, please.
What happened exactly in Jhajjar?
Jhajjar was a new center. Your lordships are aware the number of candidates have increased. As a result whereof, we have to increase the number of centers also and city coordinators also. This place was added for the first time in 2024 as an examination center. Perhaps the city coordinator must not have seen the message that you have to pick it up from this place. As a result whereof, this happened to be picked up from both the places.
But are the banks not informed that, look, don't release the Can Bank paper to anybody, release only the State Bank of India paper? Because the vault in charge has to be informed कि आपको paper surrender करना है आज, आपको distribute करना है.
Authorization is given,
because the NTA would inform the city in charge.
Yes, please.
City in charge will relay the message to the center in charge.
Yes.
But will a message not go to the bank also that, all right, Can Bank का आपको अपने locker में ही रखना है, State Bank of India का जो paper है वो आपको distribute करना है.
It goes to the bank. They also commitment. It goes to
Definitely go to the bank also. So how did this bloke at Jhajjar, the center in charge, how did he go to Canara Bank and retrieve the Canara Bank paper?
That is a mistake on their part.
It was Canara Bank's mistake.
Not just. Both minutes at both places. City coordinator.
But anyway, so the Jhajjar in charge gets the center in charge gets the Canara Bank paper.
Yes, please.
That is distributed to the candidates, and the candidates write the entire exam for 3 hours 20 minutes on the Can Bank paper.
Lordship. And this is at 8 centers. The number of such candidates who got Canara Bank paper is 3,307, and their minutes sequence is MNOP. And we have used the
So at Jhajjar, how many? There are 8 centers.
8 centers.
And everywhere they...
all over India,
all over India, not
all over India, it has happened at 8 centers.
All over India.
All over India. Some places, like Chhattisgarh, your lordships came to know.
With the wrong question paper.
Yes, not confined to Jhajjar.
papers are of the same difficulty level. It's not as if one is simpler and another.
At 8 centers, the wrong booklet was distributed.
Yes, please.
Which was the Can Bank booklet.
Yes, please. Only two booklets are available. There is no.
Then what happened in Jhajjar? Then the students wrote the whole of the paper for 3 hours 20 minutes of Jhajjar.
Because of the situation, that it could not be discovered by them that we have distributed a wrong paper. It came to the knowledge much later. As a result whereof, it was considered
Then
more
what happened?
appropriate.
Then what happened?
It was considered more appropriate to allow them to attempt this question paper only. First they gave grace mark.
We are just understanding what happened. So the students are allowed, they appeared for the entire examination in the...
Yes, on the basis of Canara Bank question paper. And the difficulty level of this question, both the papers because anyone can be distributed, are modulated by the experts to be of the same level.
Now, where was the occasion to give totally how many students at these 8 centers?
8 centers, total number of students is 3,307.
Now, initially NTA takes a decision to award grace marks to those?
No, minutes. Only after it came to be realized that some places the loss of time was there. Only then the decision was taken.
Loss of time means what?
After realizing when the complaints are there, students approached the honorable courts also saying that because of wrong distribution of paper, we could not avail the exact number of exact time which is available to the others.
Why? Because students had appeared for the full 3 hours 20 minutes. It is not as if that the correct paper was circulated midway through the exam. Suppose sometimes what happens is that the incorrect paper is given. Instead of algebra, you give the English paper. By the time the algebra paper comes, half an hour has gone by. Students were never given the SBI paper at these 8 centers. They were given only the Can Bank paper.
At Jhajjar, this happened. At some places, this was withdrawn and correct paper was also given. There are centers where this happened, like in Chhattisgarh.
Now, how many centers was how many centers was the incorrect question paper withdrawn?
I am appearing for NT also. I am appearing for both.
Kaushik, at how many centers? at how many centers was the incorrect question paper withdrawn? The correct.
Exactly. That's all. In some centers, even after realizing that instead of Canara, SBI is given
They continue to write.
they continued to write, and 3 hours, 20 minutes time allotted was given. So we are not concerned with that. In some cases,
They withdrew that.
they withdrew it halfway and said that now we are giving you another, because
How many centers did that happen?
that figure is not 1, 3.
I'll come to Savai Madhupur, Milord. This has been isolation. Milord, I'll come to all that, Milord, if they can respond to.
63 students were such that we, as per our examination, that the papers were taken back halfway, and they were asked to complete the new paper within that 320 minutes.
Milord, there attempt
that
only
could not
Canara
happen.
Bank. Milord, halfway this is a different story. Milord, halfway is a different story. First is the Canara Bank.
At 8 centers, we found that wrong booklet was distributed. Now, at all these 8 centers, the students complete the examination only in the Canara Bank booklet.
Yes, how it is.
Canara Bank only meets.
8 centers.
This is,
8 centers, right?
Yes, we will further bifurcate.
Now, tell us, how many centers apart from these 8 was the wrong booklet withdrawn and the correct
Yes,
booklet given to the
I
student?
will give the correct number of that also.
Yeah, just ask him.
We'll bifurcate. Yes, Milord.
Just you can sit down and ask the problem.
But if in the meantime I can.
Just 1 second, let them. We'll also have a little break for 10 seconds.
Please. इसको से निकल रहा है.
Judger, but I received the instructions. The Judger has 3 centers.
Yes.
In one, the entire Canara paper was, nobody disturbed the students thereafter. In remaining 2, realizing the mistake, the paper was taken back halfway and new paper was given. And therefore they said that we did not get sufficient time, which was true.
Right. Now, why were the grace marks added then?
Initially, my lord, it was decided, which according to me, my lord, was not a very correct decision, that there is some judgment of your lordships in case of a nulls clat, my lord. That if there is a time problem, if time is less, time available to the student is less, then this is the methodology by which you give the grace marks. That grace marks were given. Thereafter, my lord, that decision was
recalled in a retest, was it?
Yes, that was, those who did not get the time will get a new paper and new 3 hour 20 minutes.
Now, the retest was held for 1563 students.
Yes.
Now, these 1563 students were drawn from which center? Like?
Lord, wherever there was a time gap.
Retest is held, that really doesn't survive.
But there are 2-3 things into it. One,
Grace.
why grace marks to the students who attempted Canara Bank paper? Why grace marks? On 4th of June, they were granted, on 4th of June, they declared only one key. That is the SBI Bank question paper key. There was no Canara Bank paper key.
Wait, 1 second.
How they evaluated those people without declaring a key?
Now this grace mark was given initially to whom?
Grace mark was given to the center numbers which we have given the time number also, which is 1.
Was the grace mark given to only those who got the SBI paper in the midstream, or what happened?
The grace marks were given only to those persons from whom the paper was initially given, which was withdrawn, and subsequently given the correct paper.
Right.
But that is all. In some,
Now, what happened to those students who appeared in the wrong paper, the Can Bank paper?
their marks were given on the basis of the answer key of their sequence paper.
And they were not made to have the reading.
No, no.
Because the level of difficulty is up.
Same.
Now, so therefore, the grace marks were given only to those whose papers were withdrawn and given the because they couldn't complete the
which
paper.
we counted as 1563.
Which you counted as 153.
Based upon reports of city coordinators and CCTV footage.
Just look like it's not available.
There were 8 centers across the country where the wrong booklet was distributed.
Yes, and
Now those 8 centers includes the 3 Jajjar?
one of them at Jajjar.
Two of them.
No, wrong distribution is.
Two of them.
Third was 100% Canara Bank. At Jajjar.
Two at Jajjar.
Yes, Nits.
Where the wrong booklet was distributed and then recalled.
Recalled and grace mark was given to those candidates.
Now, in the 8 centers across India, the same position that the papers were withdrawn.
Even time was not sufficient and therefore grace mark. But out of 4750 centers, this occurred in 8 centers. 4,750 are the total number of centers throughout the country.
So 8 it happened that the wrong booklet was.
The wrong booklet. Whenever, for example, Jajjar, out of 3, 1, they completed. They were not.
They have not been given a detail, they are being graded. So 1.
They are evaluated based on their answers, my lord.
It's actually incorrect. Let me clarify it. And then the senior colleague gave 3,300 are the total student where the wrong booklet was given, withdrawn midway.
No. And allowed to continue 3,000. Minutes they are 3,000
300.
were allowed to continue. 3,300 were wrong paper. They attempted the wrong question paper.
Okay.
150.
Yes. Now, Lord, the next question comes is, on 4th of June when they declared the result, on their website they declared only one key. One key means only
SBI.
SBI. They didn't declare any other key. how they evaluated Canara Bank questions which was attempted, and where is the separate result they declared for this 3,000 people who attempted Canara Bank paper.
Must have had a key for Canara Bank also.
There is no key declared by them, my lord, till today. Let them show it today now.
Today.
No, not my lord. 1, 2.
All right. Now I'll tell you what. This is all okay. Now show us the data.
Let me complete it. Now, in this Hardyal school, where originally there were 8 people who came.
At the end of it, assuming that a problem happened.
Data is a circumstantial evidence.
We are looking at the entire country now. Show us the data. And that's the heart of the matter.
Lord, I will just allow me 2 minutes, Lord, because this.
You said 2 minutes, 11:25. We are not.
In the meantime, they start, Lord. Let me just quickly complete it. I was dealing with Hardyal school. Lord, allow me to just to complete 2-3 sentences, and then I'll straight away come to the data. Hardyal school, 500 students, they attempted Canara Bank paper. Just notice in road and let them respond at the end.
All right, we just Hardyal school. Judge, no?
Other side, Bahadurgarh Jhajjar.
Yes.
Canara Bank paper. No Canara Bank paper key available till date. After re-examination, all the students were taken in the re-examination. Though there was no delay, admittedly, in distributing question paper.
So all the students at this Hardyal school have been required to do a re-examination.
And in the re-examination, about 50% of them appeared, 50% of them did not appear.
That's also very spooky. Why do 50% not appear?
That's right. Only 813 out of 1563 in total appeared in the re-examination. That's also data.
Now these 1563 are drawn from how many centers?
Lord, this they have not disclosed. They never disclosed it, how many centers. They will answer it.
8 centers. Throughout. And as my learning friend rightly pointed out, they were given an option to retain the earlier marks.
And
they
all is
take a chance.
all is being done behind the curtain. Nothing was declared. Every day they have been giving press release, but with regard to this, there is not a single press release.
Things which, if you can just make a note of these 4 points, Mr. Solicitor and Mr. Kaushik. 1, how many centers were the Canara Bank papers distributed? At how many centers totally were Canara Bank question booklets distributed? 2, out of those centers, at how many centers were the correct question booklets replaced?
Yes, please.
At how many centers were the correct question booklets replaced, namely of the State Bank of India? Third, how many centers totally where the questions which were evaluated were the Canara Bank paper, the Canara Bank booklets? Whether there were any centers which were evaluated on the basis of the Canara Bank booklet?
Yes.
All right.
One paper was evaluated.
The paper was evaluated. And 4, once the Canara Bank papers were evaluated, how did the candidates fare there?
This is the key which they have ever declared till date. Canara
Canara Bank.
I do not declare the key of the Canara Bank papers.
Yes, please.
Fifth.
Yes, please.
And finally, I want to know this, that before I formulate the question, suppose you and I go to Canara Bank or to State Bank of India and say, give me the question paper. We will not be given the question paper, right? How does Can Bank know that I am the right person who is authorized to? So there has to be a letter of authorization,
Identity.
right?
Yes.
Now, who issues the letter of authorization?
Yes, please.
Letter of authorization is issued by the district in charge.
NT.
Director General NT.
Director General of NTA.
NTA to the city superintendent as well as center coordinators.
Now, what does a person take to the bank? Suppose I am the center in charge.
Yes.
Will I have an authorization both for SBI and for Can Bank, or I'll have only one authorization? Just ask that.
Yes, please.
City coordinator is authorized. I'm sorry. Only city coordinator is authorized, not centers. He
So the
distributes
city
those.
coordinator is authorized to go to one of the two banks.
Yes.
Now, therefore, that authorization is given to the city coordinator when? When is that given to him?
In advance.
But is the authorization given for both the banks or only one bank?
I think should be for both
ask
banks
this
logically. For both the banks. Any from which bank? It is given, authorization is given 3 days prior to the exam
For both the banks.
for both the banks. Then
The city coordinator.
he is informed in the morning that you go to one of these banks and collect.
Now, if the city coordinator, suppose city coordinator was told in the morning of the 5th that you have to go to SBI, right? Now, that city coordinator would have all the centers in that city will be under his control, right? Now, did the city coordinator, in this case at Jhajjar, go to the Can Bank and get Can Bank papers which were then distributed to all the centers in his jurisdiction, or some centers got SBI and some centers got...
That will have to be collected. Actually, will correct.
Collected both.
He collected both.
Collected both.
How did the city coordinator collect both? I mean, city coordinator at Jhajjar, he should have gone only to SBI,
Only one bank.
right?
Yes.
Now, he went to Can Bank and he went to SBI both. Now, all the centers under him, did he distribute the Can Bank question paper?
Let's one center Can Bank paper was distributed, which was allowed to be continued. Two centers, the question paper was distributed Can Bank, but it was withdrawn and SBI was given, that resulting in loss of time.
All Can banks distributed. 2 of them realized the mistake and withdrew
Who
Can
did
Bank.
realize the mistake?
Yes, out of the center coordinator.
No, but the center coordinator will...
Would not normally know. We'll take
Center superintendents are different. City coordinator is for all the 3 centers.
Right. So at Jhajjar there were 3 centers.
Yes, please.
Right? So he distributed the Can Bank paper to all 3?
All 3 initially. And let's in from 2, it was withdrawn and correct question paper was distributed.
Then why did he not withdraw it from 1?
That will have to ask.
If he realized that he has made a mistake, he would have gone to all the 3 centers and said, look, I better give you the correct center. Why did
Time lapse may be the only reason. It was realized at the other center. By that time, maybe the time gap had gone beyond the reasonable times.
take instruction from that?
Then assumptions.
Yes, yes. We will take specific instructions. We'll prepare a note on all these 6 questions, minutes, and
You're right. Authorization will be given in advance. You can't give authorization in the morning. Then he's informed how? He's informed on his phone.
on what the minutes app, which is created for the purpose of coordination.
Who informs him?
there is an NTA
That
app.
then NTA will inform everyone across the country.
Yes, through the specific app created for this purpose of
That will be informed at 8 o'clock or so in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock.
Yes, there is an
And he
application.
was informed, go to the SBI.
Yes, yes.
He went to board.
Yes.
But is CanBank not informed that, look, your paper now don't distribute? Director General NTA would be informing the CanBank that, look, your paper is not to be distributed. And he would inform SBI that only your paper is to be distributed, right?
Message goes to both the custodian as well as the city coordinator.
Then how did
Where
CanBank
the lapse has taken,
how did CanBank distribute it?
where the lapse has taken place, we'll find out minutes and
There appears to be a lapse.
Right.
yes, the lapse is there.
But there is another blunder. Hardyal School, in the first instance, despite the Canara Bank paper was given, allowed to be attempted, they gave grace marks to the students who appeared in the Hardyal School, and because of grace marks, 2 of the 8 students who came in the first
So,
topper.
Hardyal School, where the CanBank paper was distributed,
Yes.
students were given grace.
They gave grace marks,
What?
and the evidence of grace marks is out of the 2 students in the first 8 from the Hardyal School, they got 718 and 719 marks. When we questioned that how come anybody get this marks, they say it is because of grace marks. Otherwise, it's not possible.
So, grace marks were given in Hardyal School.
Even for Hardyal School, because on 4th of June there was only one key.
So, grace marks were given totally for 1563 students, right?
That's right. For all students, will I believe.
Not schools.
And thereafter, all these students were put in a re-examination. How, if Canara Bank paper was given and it was to be evaluated, where is the question of first giving them grace marks and then withdrawing the grace marks and putting them to again a retest?
It was a mistake which was corrected and retest. Now it's
How may give a grace
for
Canara
retest of the entire country
students?
based
Let
on
them answer.
Why did you give grace marks to the Canara Bank students?
No, it was not given to the
One second.
Whenever Canara
Who
paper
got
was,
the grace mark? Which body of students got the grace marks?
wherever Canara Bank's paper, the wrong paper, I use it wrong paper, was initially given, taken back, and a new paper was given,
Grace marks.
resulting into the time not being available, grace marks were
So,
given.
do we understand you right? That grace marks were not given to those students who had appeared for the Canara Bank booklet, but who had completed the entire booklet.
Yes.
They were not given.
No, not yet.
So grace marks were given to only those students to whom a wrong booklet was given and it was withdrawn. Is that right? Is that clarity?
Yes.
But I will falsify the stand just now. Their response to my note at page 19, they have reproduced a table where grace marks have been given. In that table, the center 230701 Haryana Jajjar Hardyal School, they say the grace marks have been given. Please check it. This is what they have filed before this honorable court. And 287.
Hardyal School is a situation where the students attempted only the CanBank paper.
Correct. And
But did any student at Hardyal School get grace marks?
they got a grace marks. Well, this is how they have conducted.
1 second. Mr. Kaushik,
yes, please.
did students at Hardyal School also get grace marks?
This is what it is.
I'll take specific
Just
clarification.
find out.
It's a systemic failure.
Just we were facing years.
given only for Hardayal school, not the other two schools. Let them not.
For the reason, I'll
Only in Hardayal school grace marks.
Grace marks were given where?
Grace marks were given only to Hardayal school.
Yes.
It's not, they are trying to misrepresent facts without knowing the clear picture.
That's why we are absolutely with an open mind. We wanted to disclose. I mean,
Yes,
that's,
which minutes I am instructed to say suffered loss of time despite the fact that they attempted Canara Bank question paper.
why don't you do this in the afternoon? Just give us on a piece of paper the correct position and
Yes.
give them a copy so we understand
Correct.
where we stand.
I'll
So we are
prepare a
not
note.
taking down something they are saying, something they are
Yes,
saying.
let
We don't
them,
want to-
let them correctly understand it.
Second. Let him say,
Yes,
clarify.
a neat,
But you put it down on one sheet of paper by the afternoon,
Yes.
so we'll then take it as a statement.
Correct.
Because then I don't want later on, applications that you record
Yes.
it wrongly.
there may be minutes in the haste, there may be some confusion because they are jumping on.
So, Hardayal school grace marks were given.
Yes, minutes. The
Grace
other,
marks were given only in Hardayal school? or-
only in Hardayal minutes. Because minutes, I am told the reason is that in the other schools, grace period, that is time of loss, was compensated by the center itself. Extra time was given to them, as a result whereof they did not suffer any loss of time.
No, but tell us something. In
Individual
Hardayal school, the paper was replaced with a correct paper later on?
I am told that both the papers happened to be given. After the confusion, the SBI paper was withdrawn and Canara Bank paper was allowed to be continued. That's a fact.
In Hardayal school?
Yes, minutes. That is what
That means in Hardayal school, all students wrote the Can Bank paper.
all
We
can
be firm, put
Yes.
it on a piece of paper
Yes,
so that
yes.
there is a
A
responsibility.
piece of paper.
But just to
All students wrote the Can Bank paper at Hardayal school. Why were they given grace marks?
what we will do is, we will prepare the city-wise where this happened and center-wise. Why the different
Give it to us in the afternoon. We will understand.
Yes, we will.
Only one thing, my lord, just to put
Were papers replaced and under whose orders were the papers continued?
Yes.
Was NTA monitoring this from Delhi or what happened?
It is monitored from Delhi minutes and minutes communication.
So did Delhi get to know in the morning that look, the wrong paper has been disputed?
What time it came to the knowledge and what time the communication?
Tell us.
Because minutes, large number of centers.
Tell us
not large number.
now, Mr. Huda, you have to wrap up.
But in fact, I am not allowed to proceed by the other side. I was on Hardayal school. There are 20 questions on Hardayal school itself. They made 4 statements. Let me show.
Only a minute. But my learned friend is arguing that the entire country's examination is vitiated and therefore there should be a retest. My lord, giving examples of some mistakes here or
that's a
there
systemic failure, my lord.
4,570 may not, my lord, serve his purpose of assessing the vote.
I'm saying there is a systemic failure, and I'm sequentially demonstrate that how the system was so brittle and fragile.
Then go to
We
India.
get the whims and fancies of these invigilators and city center operators who are private individuals, got nothing to do with the government. With regard to Jhajjar, I'm just closing Jhajjar. I want to say, in the first response, they said Hardayal school Canara paper was given. They attempted Canara paper. They evaluated Canara paper. No grace marks were given. This is their stand just now. They have changed it right now. With regard to the other 2 centers, they say there was a loss of time, and that is why grace marks were given. Just now they said it. Now they have again said it with regard to those 2 centers. No grace marks were given. Extra time was given then and there. Who took the decision? My lords have rightly asked the question. Now, with regard to Hardayal school, just 2 fact I want to bring to my lord's notice. A student who got 719 marks in Hardayal school with grace marks. They were given re-examination along with this 1563. The same student had, earlier the rank was 68 with 719 marks out of 720. Now the rank is 58,413. With regard to the student who got 718 in the same Hardyal school, where the rank was 69, after re-examination, the rank is 38,497. Now they do not know whether Canara Bank was given or initially SBI was given. On 4th of June, they declared one result, that is SBI result. There is no separate key. They did not even disclose on 4th of June that there was loss of time. And the loss of time we have compensated with grace marks. This they had to come out with only when they were confronted with 719 marks and 718 marks, because this is not numerically possible with the number of marks and negative marking. Then they said, now in the entire country, what they do is, this NTA has collected about 400 crore rupees from the students. Thereafter, I give example of Seeker now, which is data-wise very important. Seeker has 49 centers in all. Out of 49 center, only one center is this Kendriya Vidyalaya. Rest 48 centers are all private schools, self-financed private schools. All their city coordinator, invigilators, superintendent are all private individuals whom NTA issue checks of 2,000 rupees a day or 2,500 or 1,500 rupees. Now, because this Honorable Court is kind enough to allow me to argue this case, because so many people have come to assist me. They've shown me photographs of the school, private school in a village where this exam is being conducted. It doesn't even have a boundary wall. Now, I have not gone through their entire process. I will not call it as SOP. Now, that indicates that at 5:20, the paper is collected by the invigilator. And the OMR sheet is taken. Now, what is the time when this OMR sheet is to be sealed? It's nowhere prescribed. It remains in the center. We have spoken even to the center vigilators. There are 2-3 hours. It keep lying in every center with the center superintendent. And then they have to deposit it somewhere where all the OMR sheets are collected. Like for Seeker, there is one place where OMR sheets are ultimately collected in one center. There is no procedure NTA prescribed that 5:20 this OMR sheet is collected. Then 5:30 it should be sealed in the presence of the students. Because they have trained these invigilators across the country.
At what time do they get deposited with the centralized deposit?
There is no time given, Let them file a specific affidavit if they are ever in black and white.
How soon after the examination concludes at 5?
It is
the sealing process taking place.
They say that it is 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Ultimately, it gets deposited with the city center.
But before
What
that,
time
when
is
does the sealing takes place?
This I could not find in their entire SOP. I have placed it before this one.
That's the point.
So, I would say, I will show the data.
Now, Mr. Huda, please go to the
I'm coming to the data,
Please come to it.
Yes. Now, after analyzing the data, what we find, there are certain centers which are doing exceedingly well. It's not the students, that the centers are doing exceedingly well. Like Kota and Seeker, both have almost equal number of students appearing.
Yes.
The data I wanted to show after giving this background, that after 5:20, there is a lot of time and leeway.
Got your point. You did not
And because Kota and Seeker had equal number of students appearing, if we calculate first top centers in the country getting students having more than 650 marks, then 38 center out of 49 center are only from seeker.
Student getting over 650 marks.
That's right.
38.
38 out of 50.
What is 50?
50 top centers in the entire country.
Best more than 650 marks.
That's it. If 650 is taken as a cutoff and we evaluate that what are the top 50 center in the country.
Well, even one student gets more than 650.
That's right. So all students put together getting more than 650 are from seeker out of 50.
38 out of 50
Correct.
are from
Seeker alone. 38 centers and 6 centers adjoining to Rajasthan, which falls in Haryana. There's a Mahendragarh, Bhiwani. Rewari, Mahendragarh, Bhiwani. And now, may kindly see this. There are two factors.
What I've taken down is that quota and seeker centers had broadly equal number of students appearing. Students getting more than 650 marks.
Yes, let me straight away show those charts.
38 out of 50 are from seeker alone, 6 in Mahendragarh, Rewari and Bhiwani.
Correct.
Now show us the chart.
Yes, Lord. Lord, may kindly permit me to refer to my second supplementary note.
Which you have just given today. No?
Yes, Lord, which was filed, Lord.
Page.
Lord, first annexure, page 13 is their SOP, which I said that there is no time given for sealing after OMR is collected. Then, Lord, the data of top 50 centers, Lord, that is page 101, annexure C. But before that, Lord, allow me to show one more chart at page 100 for a moment, Lord. This again, they have to answer it, Lord, if they can answer it post lunch. The difference in the data declared on 4th of June and 20th of July, page 100, Lord, may kindly see this table. Lord, just see Bihar.
Yes, Francis.
Page 100, Lord. Yes, I do. Mismatch in the result published on 4th of June 2014 and 20th of July 2024. 4th of June 24 and 20th of July 24.
Yes.
Good. Just see Bihar at serial number 4. As per 4th of June, registered were 1,54,000, appeared 1,49,000 something, qualified 74,743. Now the data on 20th of July. Appeared student 1,36,000. The difference is 13,000.
Right.
And Lord, this difference is appearing almost everywhere. And we will respond to that after they respond to it.
4th of June and 20th July, the number of students comes down.
Correct.
Appears to.
That's right. Lord, Rajasthan, Lord, may kindly see specifically Rajasthan also for this.
There is something plus also like Tamil Nadu. There.
Yes.
Rajasthan is plus 18,000.
Yes. Now, my Lord, what happens? My Lord, let me explain it. Let me, my Lord, explain it for a moment. What happens is, in their system, if I am a resident of Rohtak, Haryana, if I fill up an address of Tamil Nadu, I want to go to Sikar. I can simply fill up my address, some address of Sikar, and they will treat me as a student of Sikar. And I will get a center somewhere in Sikar. people have gone from Godhra, Gujarat to Karnataka, Belgaum. One incident is a girl who got 705 marks on 4th of June. She got failed in 12th class and she's getting 31 out of 100 chemistry and so on and so forth. People have traveled from Odisha, Karnataka to Godhra. And with regard to this, one professor wrote an email which I have placed on record a month before that this is a scam happening.
How many students had, would we know what their original place is?
Well, what happens is they do not connect it with Aadhaar card or any proof of residence. They open their system. They say you fill up the address of your residence, whatever you feel like, and we will treat it to be your residence address, and we will allocate you center as per the address you give it here. Absolutely no system in place to verify that.
So, are you contending? Suppose I am a student, I am ordinarily residing in Delhi. When I fill up my form online, I can choose a center, say in Sikar, or I can fill out a center in somewhere in Tamil Nadu or Kerala.
But I am free to give whatever address I want.
By showing some residence over there.
Not even showing, filling it up. Just I need to type it in.
At what point of time do they verify whether you are actually a resident of that?
At no stage, Lord, may kindly note it.
A student can choose a center in any part of the country.
Any part of the country.
And you don't have to submit any document.
Absolutely no proof, my lord. And there is an email. If I can straight away invite my lord kind attention to that email for a moment. Professor email.
It's not a change of center, but choice of center.
Choice of center. Page 190 of my lord. This my lord may kindly permit me to
writing an email that there is a scam.
No.
Mr. Solicitor, just tell us this later on when your turn comes. Argument is that a student can choose a center of their liking anywhere in the country by saying I reside there.
Yes.
Does the student at any point of time of the registration process have to produce any documentary material to indicate that they are residents of that?
I'll answer that. But when I give the figures of seeker, he's taking on seeker, I'll be able to justify the success rate has gone down, but we'll be able to show that. Let me come to my place. I can go by.
How does it work when a center is sought by a student? Student applies for a center or city when you submit an application for it?
City.
Now,
Center
when a
is not.
student applies for a city, does NTA require the student to upload any documents?
Just will not require and will not.
Absolutely.
Or does that student just choose a city anywhere in the country?
Correct.
Verify.
Correct. Lord, I just want to point out an email. Like Lord would remember, Kaka College had written them with regard to Godhra a month earlier. They did not act on it. In their reply, they say now they have marked this college Kaka email to some competent authority to look into it. Now, with regard to this, allow me, Lord, to refer to this email at page 190.
Was the data? You marked it already before yesterday.
Yes, my lord, I'm coming back. My lord, I'm already on the tables, my lord.
What was that?
My lord, I'm already on the tables. My lord,
Read a PhD system.
my lord, may kindly see. Yes. My lord, I was page 100. Lord, I'm showing this data. I was at page 100 to demonstrate.
Ultimately, up to now, you have dealt with Hazaribagh, you have dealt with Patna, you have dealt with,
This all will demonstrate.
My lord, give me some time.
Is,
My friend has taken a long, I have no quarrel. I have to attend some other matter. I'll be grateful. I will only take 10 minutes. That I am 10 minutes. My lord, my lord, if you go by seniority, I'm 66, I'm senior. But we have followed a different rule. I have no quarrel.
No.
I have no quarrel.
I every standard, Mr.
Mr. Tushar Mehta, you're only 59. Junior to me in bar and age. Yes. Please don't insult seniors. But my lord, I only take 10 minutes.
Any group matter, one person leads.
No, my lord, I only take 10 minutes, my lord.
We are also.
Because I believe that he is.
Second, Mr. Edumbara, it would be wrong to say that he has taken time. We are also.
No, I am not blaming anybody, my lord. I am only requesting 10 minutes to be given to me. Then, my lord, believe me. That's all. 10 minutes to me.
Certainly.
10 minutes to me, my lord, if I can, before lunch, my lord, I have another matter to be, I'm taking adjournment after adjournment, Madras High Court, I want to appear online.
All right.
So 10 minutes.
I was page 100 the table just to demonstrate the mismatch, and this is for them to explain that how the number of candidates who appeared in a particular state has gone down from the result declared on 4th of June to the result declared on 20th of July. Then, my lord, at page 101, annexure C is the list of top 50 centers, which indicates, my lord, that how these centers are concentrated in Sikar.
Of heart. This is very important. Just 1 second.
Yes.
Let's go closely on this. Yes.
Lord, I have given the center code, number of students appeared, how many students above 700, then the percentage of 700 plus, above 650, percentage of above 650, above 600, percentage of above 600, and then above 550. I have gone only up to above 550. Now, this will show a concentration.
Okay.
The concentration here is, my lord, primarily Sikar. My lord, may kindly see this. Rajkot, there is one station at Rajkot, my lord, where the total number of students is 9.